We've got Mr. Tratty, the human gizmo here, just to have a chat to these boys. So listen up, guys, and I'll take it away Tratty.
For your time before the game. I understand it is a big event for you guys, so thanks for taking the time out to catch up with us first. Now, we're hoping for tonight that it goes all the way. They're long, they're stressful, they're at times heartbreaking for you guys and thrilling. Obviously, you guys want 20-minute surrenders, but we don't want that. We want some really good games. So before we get into the actual match, though, I want to sort of cover a few things the community's been speaking about lately and your take on the Australian competitive scene at the moment. So I'll just say your names because we're obviously not live. We can't see each other. There's no eye contact. So I'll just call your names out. So the first thing that I sort of want to talk about is finally seeing someone, and that being in a plug, Cybergamer, taking on board the competitive scene in Australia, and we're finally seeing some more structured, formalised approach to the competitive scene. How do you guys first, Luna, how do you feel that the scene in Australia is going in terms of competition and lands? Do you think it's making grounds, or do you feel that this is maybe just something that's out of the blue and it's going to all fall away?
No, the scene's been steadily increasing recently. I know lots of people after EB Expo last year, the tournament and LAN scenes sort of died down for a while. But this year, Cybergamer and Esports Daily have started to pick up a lull, and it's only going to improve from here. I know I can't say any details, but I know there's multiple LANs planned from multiple esports orgs later on in the year, and there's going to be many, many more online tournaments. So it's just going to keep increasing. We're not ever going to digress from this point where we're at now, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Smithy, do you think that there's anything happening in the scene at the moment that you would like to see happen better or increase quicker?
Yeah, the scene is obviously growing as it is right now, especially with Riot announcing, their office opening up in Sydney. So at the moment, there's a few pro teams. For what I would like to see is a lot more sponsored teams appearing, and I think that'll really help grow the scene a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to stay exactly on that point. And Luna, before this interview, I said to you that you're going to say, Tratty, why did you ask me that question? But I want to talk a little bit about it because it's obviously a big thing that comes into play with these sponsored teams and international berths. And there was a thread on Cybergamer not too long ago, and there was some big guys in the pro scene, and apologies if I get these names wrong, but I remember Scream and both Rusty, I think, getting involved in the conversation and saying, we have a team in IM who are sponsored, who have shown that they're just destroying everyone in the Australian scene at the moment. Why haven't they gone to international bursts? So can you maybe shed some light onto that from your point of view, why it hasn't happened yet?
Sure. Basically, I'll be straight up about it. We have the support from our sponsors who be flown overseas. That's not an issue. We have more than enough money from the sponsors to be sent. The issue is opportunities. We can't just randomly decide we want to go to an IEM. There has to be safeguards put into place, whether or not we're ready. And personally right now with the state of the team, a lot of us have got uni. I just started work personally. Heavens is busy with TAFE right now. So we're not actually team pracking a lot. And I think we would get destroyed internationally right now because we're not practiced. And that's one of the main reasons why I personally haven't approached management to go overseas thus far. Later on in the year, once we start practicing a lot more and we get more into it, then I can guarantee you we will be going overseas at least once this year. That's a guarantee.
Okay.
But right now, we're not ready, in my opinion.
Okay, that's really, really good to hear, I suppose, for the community to know that we are going to see team immunity in an international event. That's really, really good. Is there any pressure from team immunity? I've been around a long time, and guys from 1.6 days will say, as Scream mentioned in that thread, that Team Immunity are known as a team that love to get around the international events. They've always done it. Out of all the organisations in Australia, I think it'd be pretty hard to argue that they're not the most successful gaming organisation in Australia. Is there any pressure from the boys at the top there towards you guys? You guys have got to start doing something internationally. We want to do this.
Well, look, no matter what we do, management are always supportive of our decisions, and they're supportive in a way that they want us to go overseas, but only when we feel we're ready. So we get to dictate whether or not we feel we're ready for an international event. Now, management have been wanting to send us for almost a year now. We've almost been in immunity for a year, and we were actually going to go over to IEM Guangzhou, China, but that event got cancelled. So management have always wanted to send us, but if they approached me right now and said, do you guys want to go to MLG? I would say no, because we would get destroyed and it would be embarrassing because we haven't practiced as a team. So, yeah.
Yeah. And does that, for you, Smithy, obviously an up-and-coming team, you probably, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, have the support yet that what a Team Immunity has. Do you feel that it's do you envy these guys for them being able to obviously go over and compete, or are you yourself happy with just competing in the Australian scene?
I too want to compete internationally, but it's similar to them where they think at the moment they'll get destroyed because they're unpracticed. It's the same for us. We also have uni and work commitments as well. So we do have the resources to get us overseas, but also with our sponsor being relatively new to esports, we don't have that much connections overseas, so knowing how to get to these events. So for the moment, we're trying to work on getting the #1 spot in Australia before we really focus on the international scene.
Yeah, for sure. So sticking with that, Smithy, the skill level in Australia, you both said we'll get destroyed. Do you see the skill level improving in Australia, or do you think it's going to take something else, maybe an external influence, let's just throw it out there and say an international team and sitting down and boot camping with them? That's something you saw CLGEU do, obviously now known as Evil Geniuses, and it's something these teams have tended to do. They always try to take a team that's above them from a different region and take it on board. Or do you think that our scene can just grow naturally to be at that competitive level?
Well, I think the Australian scene at the top, there does seem to be the talent, but a lot of the players don't have the time to put in 10 hours a day kind of thing. But I'm hoping with the Australian servers and Riot showing the support in Australia, that'll be enough of a catalyst to start getting a lot more, like a lot bigger talent pool to speak of.
Yep, definitely. And in terms of I suppose, who do you two look up towards in the way of team synergy? Smithy, we'll start with you. Who's a team that you look towards and say, that's who we want to be like? That's who I see myself playing like?
I think in a lot of ways, probably TSM, especially as of late. They've been doing really well, and it's just a lot to do with how they play together as a team, their team fighting. So when we sit down and talk about, what we want to do, a lot of it is to do with, what do they do? Since they have the time to go and research what the best stuff is, we generally will try and steal from teams like that, since we don't have as much time to, sit down and talk about these things.
Yeah, for sure. Luna, for you, is there a person you look up to as a jungler? Do you say, he's amazing and that's who I want to be like?
It would either be Diamond Prox from Gambit Gaming.
Yeah, he's banned. You're not allowed to say him. There's got to be someone else.
Okay, World Elite Clever Love. I think he's amazing, and personally I think he's the best jungler in the world.
Yep, okay, yep, that's fair enough. Clear Love, now known as Troll, if I'm correct.
Troll. I'm still going to call him Clear Love, Clever Love,
yeah,
whatever.
The same as we all still call Edward Gosu, I assume.
Yeah.
Alright, now let's get into the games tonight that we have at hand. Smithy, first off, now it's fair to say you've been beaten quite comfortably in the leagues game, and obviously in the TT Esports land, being your most relative heads-ups against these guys. As a Cybergamer professional team in that respective league, we would hope that you walked away from those games having exposed some issues in your own gameplay. Do you think that's the case, and do you think that you've found them out, and do you think that you've got a resolution from them, as opposed to just breaking all Radius' fingers and then disconnecting his internet?
Well, obviously we're going into this thinking we're gonna win, so it's always best to be confident. And a couple weeks ago when we played the TT LAN against Immunity, especially the first game, that was a extremely long and close game where I even think we finished in the end with more gold. But in the end, Immunity were able to just make the plays and make less mistakes than we made, and that just came down to experience. So we're hoping that after analyzing that game, which we made sure and did for a couple hours, and seeing the mistakes we did, we're hoping that we've polished those out and hopefully minimize those today.
Yep, that's a fantastic response. Now, Luna, I suppose to you guys, with those 3 victories as of late, it always, in any competitive nature, complacency will obviously come into account, and you may start to feel comfortable playing those people. Now, of course, you're never going to underestimate Umart. I don't think that you guys would ever do something like that. But do you think that you'll have this sense of knowing of what they're going to do that may catch you guys off guard, or have you really focused on that?
No, we're pretty confident on knowing what they're going to do. Not to insult them, but a lot of the picks are really predictable, and we can base a lot of comps around their picks and how they structure their team comps, because their players have very small champion pools and they usually like to run the same things. So I'm really confident that we can draft some better comps than them in Champion Select, and we just feel really confident. I mean, we haven't lost to them in quite a long time, so yeah, we're just going to bring that confidence in and hopefully take it out.
So it would be fair to, going into this game, you already have some set team compositions and some set bands that you would like to place out. Yep. And Smithy, are you going to walk into this game with the structured team composition, or is it more on a fly and you'll respond to what Team Immunity?
We've definitely discussed what we're aiming to do and what we plan to do depending on the side and depending on what we see as well. So we've planned for this heavily.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Now, obviously, you're not going to tell me this, but the patch we're on at the moment has Zach and Lysandra being available. Now, Smithy, do you think that they're going to pull one out? Are we going to see a Zach or Lysandra?
I do think we'll see at least one of them in this series.
Okay, and Luna with their very, very small champion pool, which there's nothing wrong with. Let's get that straight away. There's nothing wrong with having a small champion pool. It obviously has its weaknesses, but it also has its benefits. Do you think they're going to be pulling out a Zach or Lysandra tonight?
We'll probably see Uber on Zach and maybe Sodrani as well. I know he's been playing a lot of Sodrani recently, so probably Zach and Sodrani, not so much Lysandra.
Yep, okay, fantastic. That'll be great. We'd love some new action, because then Papa Smithy, who I think we'll chat about a little bit later, and Menace are going to really have to be on their game, and hopefully they make heaps of mistakes so we can all laugh. That's of why Zach and Lysandra should be played. So that's all we have time for, guys. I want to wish you the best of luck tonight. It's a big match. Hopefully there's more in the future, and you should both walk away knowing that you are respectively the number 1 and 2 side in Australia. Thank you very, very much for your time, guys, and good luck tonight. I'll go back to you, Menace.
I think we'll go back to Steve.
Come back to me. That's what we need to do. So, yeah, thank you very much, both Luna and JK Smithy, and all the best to both Umart Storm and Team Immunity tonight. Should be some great games coming up very, very shortly for us, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you as well, Tratty, giving up your time there for that wonderful interview. Now, we're only we're only a few minutes away, I believe, from the game. So, does anyone have anything else to say before we start looking at getting into the game?
I think that we'll probably see, just to cut you off there, probably at least a 10-minute break before the guys actually get into the game. The interviews ran a little bit longer than expected for many different reasons. So I think it's just fair to say that the boys will get a 10-minute break before we go into those games.
All right, then I guess we can start off by saying this. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we do have Menace Casting, and we do have a very special guest from ESL. You guys may have heard of him, which is Papa Smithy, doing a few things for ESL, Australia and Asia, and he'll be joining us for a one-off. So we're very, very excited to have him and very grateful as well to have him join us. And let's not forget as well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have some giveaways tonight. We do have a BenQ monitor. Now, what model was that? I keep forgetting what model it was. Sandman, do you remember?
It is I saw it before. It's like a XL2420T. So these are pretty good. They're 24 inches. They're 120 hertz. They're in terms of gaming monitors, I think they're pretty much what you want to get. If you go and you watch MLG or any of those sort of big esports competitions, you'll see that the guys are all using these monitors.
Well, they were the ones that were used at the...
Whatnot, so
they were the ones which Cybergamer used at the Counter-Strike Go Premier League just a few months ago. They were the ones which were supplied by BenQ, which so fantastic monitors. We're giving them away. The other thing we're doing, and it's just about due, is Sandman's going to be looking after the gifts tonight. And I did put up the link before, but what we're doing every time we clock on another 50 viewers, I think Sandman's got some right points to give out.
I do. We up to $100 total, I believe, cyanide of right points to give away, and every 50 viewers that we get through tonight for this cast, we will give away a $10 right point voucher. But obviously, to be part of that, you need to be in this competition on our Facebook page. So we're at 85 viewers at the moment, so I think we'll give everyone another 5 or 10 minutes, whatever, to get in there and get their last entries in if they haven't entered already. Head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/teamdowntv, or there's that bit.ly link in there which actually takes you through to the actual app on our Facebook page, and it automates the entries for us. You just put in your details, and then throughout the night I'll grab winners from the entries in that app, and we'll be giving out some prizes. But you do need to be watching to win. So if you enter, don't run away, because if you win that monitor, you'll be pretty sad if it ends up going to someone else.
You will be sad if you run away, and all our winners just have to pop over to Facebook and send us a message as well, and we'll send that stuff through straight away. And one more thing, just before we have a few-minute break here, while those teams are getting organised. Menace, going for number 1 and number 2 spot on the CGI ladders. What do these boys actually win if they win? What does first and second place get, Menace?
I want to say hello to the stream, first of all. How you going, guys? It is good to be here tonight. So, as for the prizes for the CGI, the invite ladder, they will win first prize, $800 of cash to go to the team, and then 5 24-inch BenQ monitors. They're top-quality monitors, the exact same one that we are giving away tonight. Then second prize will take away $600 cash. So, both of these teams are in the money, but, to get that a little bit more, they've got to win tonight. So, it'll be very interesting to see who can come out on top. And should be a pretty good match, Steve.
I wonder if he ran away.
I nearly did run away. I just had to change Menace's volume just a little bit there. They're not the same monitors, but they're still a bloody good BenQ monitor, so we're pretty excited about that. So give us a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back very, very soon, taking it up with Game 1, Umart. Well, Team Immunity taking on Umart Storm for number 1 spot here, CGI Grand Final. Here first, Team Down TV. So we'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Bye.